The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. That's our starting line, my friends. Not louder, not pettier, not chasing, different, calm, untouchable. Here's the hook. Today you stop arguing with people who only learn from consequences and you let time do the teaching. If you're ready for that kind of power, tap like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're going to keep your peace high and your stress low. Hey folks, imagine this. You walk out of a noisy room and close the door. On the other side, they're still talking about you, trying to bait you, trying to pull you back into the mess. But you're in a quiet hallway now. That hallway is time. Time has thick carpet and soft lights and a sign that says, "No arguments past this point." In that hallway, you heal. On the other side, they feel the draft from the door you shut. That's how it works. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca said, and most of your suffering came from replaying their story. Today, we retire from that role. Picture your energy like a bank account. Every confused text, every late-night debate, every one last explanation is a withdrawal with no return. Time is a compound interest. When you stop spending on chaos, your peace grows by itself. It's like planting seeds and not digging them up every hour to check the roots. The garden looks quiet for a while. Then one morning it's green, strong, and not asking for permission. That's you. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Marcus reminds us. You can't control when they wake up. You can control when you stop trying to be their alarm clock. Let's break a few lies. Lie 1, closure will fix everything. No, my friends. Closure is often just a longer goodbye with better grammar. Lie 2, if I say it perfectly, they'll finally understand. You're not a magician, you're a person. People don't change because your speech was flawless. They change because the bill came due. Lie 3, if I stay, I'm loyal. Real loyalty begins with you. Staying where you are disrespected isn't loyalty. It's self-abandonment dressed as devotion. Hard truth, I know, but liberation tastes like truth. Let me give you a lighter picture too. Think of your peace like your phone battery. You know that panic at 1%? That was you in the old situation, low power mode, brightness down, closing apps, still stressed. Now imagine you plug into discipline, sleep, training, purpose. You're at 98%, screen bright, GPS set to the future. If they call now, it's not rage, it's reception. Hello, I'm good. Gotta run, fun fact. Confidence and kindness sound the same when you're done explaining. Another image. Courtroom scene. Judge time enters. No gavel, no shouting. Just a ledger, effort given, respect returned. You say nothing. You don't have to. The record speaks. Their choices cross-examine them. Their silence interrogates them. Your new life testifies. And time hands down a verdict you didn't have to request. Consequence. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." As long as you were there proving your worth, they didn't have to learn anything. When you leave the classroom, the test arrives. So here's our aim today, not to punish, but to step back and let reality deliver results. We choose boundaries over battles. We choose action over arguments. We choose growth over gossip. We let our calendar do what our paragraphs could not. You will become quieter, clearer, stronger. They will meet the mirror they've been avoiding. That's not revenge. That's the order. Number 1, the rule of withdrawal. They lose access, you gain peace. The more you value your time, the less you argue. That's the hard line to start with, my friends. And here's the move. You stop being available on demand, not to punish, to protect. Picture this. Your life is a house with warm light inside. For too long, the front door was unlocked, the porch light was on, and anyone could wander in, put their feet on your table, and criticize the furniture. Tonight, you quietly change something simple but powerful. You lock the door, you draw the curtains, you sit at your own table, warm drink in hand, listening to your own thoughts for once. Outside, they knock, they text, they pace. Inside, you breathe. That's withdrawal, not drama, not payback, order. Now I know the questions rolling in your mind. What if they think I'm rude? What if they say I changed? What if I'm the bad guy for stepping back? Folks, let's tell the truth. You weren't changing into something false. You were changing back into someone honest. The version of you that over-explains, over-gives, and overstays is not noble. It's exhausted. They'll ask, why did he stop? And you'll answer with your silence. Because Marcus Aurelius already gave us the script. You have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't control what they feel about your boundary. You can control whether your boundary stands. Imagine your attention as oxygen in a room. When they treated you right, you breathed together. When they treated you poorly, you gave them your mask and held your breath. No more. Withdrawal means you keep your own mask on. It sounds simple. It isn't. Because your brain has a history, intermittent reinforcement, little crumbs of kindness mixed with disrespect trained you to chase the next crumb. Dark psychology explains it well. Variable rewards are sticky. Your nervous system learned to wait by the slot machine, pulling the lever of, maybe this time they'll change. Withdrawal is the act of stepping away from the machine, letting your heart detox from the gamble. Let's break a few lies cleanly. Lie 1. If you withdraw, you are cold. No. If you withdraw, you are clear. Coldness is punishing. Clarity is peaceful. Lie 2. If you stop explaining, they'll never understand. Newsflash. They didn't understand while you were explaining either. People don't learn because you spoke perfectly. They learn because consequences arrive on time. Lie 3. If you stay, you prove you're loyal. Staying where you are misused isn't loyalty. It's self-disrespect. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." The bravery here is not fighting harder. It's refusing the fight that steals your soul. Let's talk about fear, honestly. You fear the story they'll tell about you. You fear losing the identity of the good one who always tries. You fear the quiet, the part after withdrawal where your phone goes still and you stare at a new kind of silence. That silence is not punishment. That silence is your coach. In that quiet, you will hear the truth you kept drowning out with long texts and long calls. You gave too much for too little. You invested in potential and ignored reality. You wore yourself out trying to be understood by people who only understand leverage, and leverage was your attention. Think of a chess clock. Every time you react, you press their clock off and yours on. You burn seconds while they sit back, waiting for you to tire out. Withdrawal flips the clock. You stop reacting. Your time stops bleeding. Their time starts. Without your energy, their moves become obvious. They try guilt. They try bait. They try nostalgia. Remember when they try a crisis. I need you. It's urgent. Folks, be kind, be brief, be gone. If it's truly an emergency, there are numbers for that. Your boundary is not a hospital. How do I do it without rage, you ask? Epictetus gives us the compass. No man is free who is not master of himself. Withdrawal is mastery, not meanness. You answer only what is necessary, only when necessary, only once. You stop writing essays to defend your decision. You stop attending court for a case that has already been closed in your spirit. You cut the performative apology where you say, "I'm sorry, I'm choosing peace." No more apologizing for not drowning. You wouldn't apologize for putting on your seatbelt. You wouldn't apologize for sleeping 8 hours. Stop apologizing for protecting your mind. A metaphor for the road ahead: you're a lighthouse, not a lifeboat. A lifeboat jumps into every storm and sinks under the weight of other people's choices. A lighthouse stands still, bright and firm. Ships either steer by it or crash without it. The lighthouse does not chase, that's withdrawal, and yes, it will be difficult at first. You'll feel a ghost hand pushing you to text back at 1 a.m. You'll feel the ritual of checking their page, measuring your worth against their silence. Cut the ritual. Replace it with new ones. Train your body, hydrate like it matters, read 1 chapter, make 1 sale, write 1 page, sleep like a king. The brain that craves chaos will learn to crave progress when you give it trackable wins. Why do they think you won't withdraw? Because your history taught them you wouldn't. You taught them you'll always pick up, always explain, always return. This isn't about blame, it's about patterns. People trust patterns, so change the pattern, quietly, consistently, no fireworks. Over time, a new reputation forms in their mind. He doesn't argue, he exits, he doesn't chase, he chooses, he doesn't punish, he prefers peace. And here's the quiet fun part. When you no longer dance, the music gets awkward on their side. That awkwardness is not your problem. That awkwardness is the tutor they refused when you offered grace. Some of you will ask, but what if they finally understand after I withdraw? Then you'll meet them as the man you became, not the man who begged. Your boundary will do the talking. Your schedule will do the sorting. Your standards will do the screening. If they fit, great. If they don't, great. You're not angry. You're busy. You're not petty. You're precise. Precision with your attention is not cruelty. It's stewardship. Your attention grows what it touches. Touch your mission more than their mood. Touch your health more than their history. Touch your future more than their feelings about the past. Here's a gentle, honest laugh for the soul. Once you stop writing novels to people who skim your paragraphs, you'll write chapters of your life you actually reread with pride. And you'll notice something strange. Your humor returns, your shoulders drop, your breath deepens. Peace has a sound. It sounds like your own voice, steady and unbothered. It sounds like you are humming while you cook. It sounds like the gym door closing behind you and the barbell saying, "Let's work." So we end this piece with a promise. Withdrawal is not the end of your story. It's the end of your exhaustion. It is the beginning of right-sized responsibility. You will not explain your worth. You will embody it. You will not chase respect. You will require it. You will not argue for your boundary. You will become your boundary. Time loves a determined man. And when time sees your decision, it starts doing the heavy lifting you used to do with your mouth. Like Marcus said, the power you actually have is the power you will use today. Number 2, silence as a system. They starve without your reaction. You always own the option of having no opinion. Marcus Aurelius said that, and today we turn it into a living system. Not in a mood, not a one-day detox, a protocol. My friends, this is where you stop giving free fuel to fires that only burn your peace. Picture this. You're in a room where every sound you make turns on 1,000 blinking lights, arguments, screenshots, side chats, drama pings. Then you discover a switch on the wall labeled "No Reaction." You flip it. The lights die, the room calms, and suddenly you can hear your own breath. That's silence as a system. The point isn't to punish them. The point is to free you. Folks, imagine your attention like electricity. Every reply you send powers their machine, beeps, flashes, little hits of validation that say, "You still have me." When you stop replying to bait, the grid goes dark on their side. At first, they'll rattle the switches. They'll call, they'll post, they'll nudge mutuals. In psychology, that's called an extinction burst. When a behavior no longer gets a reward, it spikes before it dies. Expect the spike. Expect the urgent questions that aren't urgent. Expect the just checking in that isn't checking in. Accept the joke that isn't funny. Smile, breathe, keep the switch off. You'll hear your own doubts whisper, what if they think I'm weak? What if they think I'm scared? What if silence makes it worse? Listen, noise made it worse. The back and forth made it worse. Your paragraphs were a treadmill, full sweat, no distance. Silence is you stepping off the treadmill and walking out the door. Epictetus put it plainly. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. They may call your silence rude, petty, childish. Let them. They're describing the feeling of losing control, not your character. Your character is the quiet proof you give to your future. Here's a metaphor I love. Silence is a thermostat, not a hammer. You don't swing it to break things. You set it to protect the climate. You decide the temperature of your day and hold it there. They send a provocation. Your thermostat doesn't move. They send a compliment. Your thermostat doesn't surge. They send nostalgia. Your thermostat doesn't fog the windows. That steadiness teaches your nervous system a new truth. You're not a puppet. You're a person. Let's break a few lies. Lie 1. If I don't answer, I'm being manipulative. Manipulation is control. Silence is non-participation. You're declining the invite to chaos. Lie 2. If I keep it short, they'll finally get it. They didn't get it long. They won't get it short. Systems teach faster than speeches. Lie 3. Silence is passive. It's not. It's active restraint, the most advanced form of strength. Marcus again. The option of no opinion is power. You are choosing not to spend energy on what does not compound. Why is this hard? Because your brain got trained by variable reward. Sometimes they were kind, sometimes they vanished, sometimes they apologized, sometimes they are blamed. That up-down pattern wires you to chase certainty. Silence is the rehab. In the beginning you'll shake. You'll reach for your phone at midnight. You'll type a paragraph and hover over send. You'll want to clarify, to correct, to put the record straight. Don't. The record isn't a courtroom you must attend. The only record that matters is your routine tomorrow morning. Another picture. Think of your life as a clear aquarium. When you stir the water, the silt rises and the whole tank looks dirty. When you stop stirring, gravity does the cleaning you were trying to do with your hands. Your silence lets gravity work. What's true settles. What belongs floats. You don't have to point and shout. You keep the water still and everyone can see. They will feel the vacuum. Humans crave feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down, any signal that says the connection still works. When nothing comes, their mind fills the gap with questions. Why isn't he engaging? Did he move on? Did he upgrade? Was I the problem? That's the cognitive itch of no closure. You don't scratch it for them. You let time turn it into honest reflection or honest distance. Either way, you win. Reflection means growth. Distance means peace. A little fun image for you. Silence is airplane mode for your soul. The messages might still exist, but your phone doesn't light up. Your flight is smooth, and you arrive rested. When you land, in your workout, your business, your reading, you decide what deserves a response. You, not the ding. Let me be practical. Silence as a system means you answer only what is necessary, only when necessary, only once, without emotional subtext. You stop writing movie scripts in your head where your perfect sentence finally converts them. You replace that fantasy with a list: water, training, work block, call mum, sleep 8. You measure days by what you built, not by what you argued. You schedule your own life so tightly that drama has nowhere to sit. But what if they escalate? Then your system shows you their reality faster. Bait becomes obvious. Guilt trips become episodes you've already seen. You'll start smiling at the recycled plot. And if they ever come correct, clear, accountable, respectful, your system still protects you. You don't rush, you don't gush, you don't fold. You respond like a man with a mission because you are. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca told us. Silence shrinks imagination. Without reaction, there's no new scene to obsess over at 2 a.m. Without new scenes, your mind stops writing sequels to a story that should have ended 2 chapters ago. This is how your humor returns. This is how music sounds good again. This is how food tastes better and the gym feels like home. The background noise fades and the main character re-enters the frame, you. So here's the move, folks. Flip the switch and hold it. When the itch to answer comes, breathe. When the urge to correct comes, sip water. When the fantasy to persuade returns, do 10 push-ups or open your book. Tie the silence to a habit that builds your future. Let your calendar say what your paragraphs use to try to say. I'm done explaining. I'm busy. Number 3. Scarcity rewrites value. They learn when access isn't free. Make yourself necessary to the world, and mankind will give you bread. Emerson said that, and today we make it practical. When your access is everywhere, your value is nowhere. My friends, this is where we stop being the 24/7 convenience store of attention and become the curated boutique, open with purpose, closed for upgrades. Folks, picture this. You're a rare watch behind glass. For years you sat on a clearance rack, tagged, touched, tried on by people who never intended to buy. Today, you go in the case. Same watch, different presentation, same man, different access. Suddenly, the questions change. Is it still available? What's the process? What's the price? Scarcity didn't change your essence. It revealed it. Let's face the hard truth. People do not value what they can summon at will. They tell themselves they do. They write sweet captions. They swear you're one of a kind. But the nervous system measures cost and consequence, not captions. When your presence costs nothing, the brain files it under later. When your presence is curated, the brain files it under don't miss. That shift is the beginning of respect. The Stoics knew this before it had a name. Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Translate it to access. When you want less from them and require more from yourself, your attention gets expensive, your presence gets precise, and your peace gets rich. A metaphor for your day. Your calendar is a velvet rope. Before, anyone could wander up and get a front row seat to your time. Now there's a line, a list, and a standard. Not to be fancy, to be faithful. Faithful to your mission, your training, your sleep, your money, your mind. Ask yourself, if the best version of you hired you, would they keep you? Scarcity is the policy that turns you into an employee your future can trust. You reply when you mean it. You show up when the commitment deserves it. You say no without a paragraph. Calm, clean, consistent. Dark psychology gives us the mechanics. Scarcity effect, rarity amplifies desire. Reactance, people want what they're told they can't easily have. Endowment effect, once they realize they truly had something special, loss bites harder. You used to subsidize all three against yourself by offering unlimited access, instant replies, emergency empathy for non-emergencies, favors on credit. That unlimited plan taught them your time was cheap. Switching to a measured plan shocks the system. Expect pushback. Expect you've changed. Smile. That's the sound of your value going from free sample to premium supply. Let's break the lies that keep you trapped. Lie 1. If I'm always available, they'll finally appreciate me. Availability without boundaries breeds boredom, not gratitude. Lie 2. If I limit access, I'm playing games. Games seek control, standards seek clarity. Scarcity isn't coy, it's clear. Your time is booked with becoming. Lie 3. Saying no makes me unkind. No, saying yes to everything makes you dishonest because you're promising energy you don't truly have. Marcus Aurelius, again. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? If it is not necessary, it is costly, and you've paid enough. Picture an airport. You used to be the gate agent for every delayed flight of someone else's emotions. Announcements, rebookings, apologies for weather you never caused. Now you're the pilot of a single aircraft. Your life, doors close, safety checks, throttle forward. Those still arguing at the counter can take another flight. Your wheels up. People respect departure times more than speeches. Scarcity sets your departure time. They either arrive early with respect or they wave at the tail lights. Either way, you fly. You'll feel the fear climb up your throat. What if I lose them? What if they think I'm arrogant? What if I miss out? Real talk, my friends. You've been losing yourself to keep them. You've looked humble while your standards starved. You've not missed out while your mission sat in the waiting room. The cost is already being paid by you. Flip the invoice. Let those who took you for granted feel the cost of admission. If they're meant for your future, they will rise. If they're not, scarcity makes selection painless. Nature trims what you wouldn't. Here's a fun metaphor. Think of your attention like a legendary concert ticket. When tickets are unlimited, people say, "I'll go next time." When there are only a few, they plan, they dress, they arrive early. Your presence deserves early. Your conversation deserves preparation. Your standards deserve respect. Watch how the tone shifts when the access shifts. Are you free becomes when are you free? Can you talk becomes what time works for you? That tiny preposition, when instead of if, signals they've moved from entitlement to effort. That shift is worth more than 100 apologies. Why is this difficult? Because generosity is your superpower, and like any superpower, untrained, it causes collateral damage. Scarcity is the training. It doesn't kill your generosity, it aims for it. You become generous to people who are responsible with your gifts. You become generous to your craft, which produces value for more than a moment. You become generous to your sleep, because a tired king signs bad treaties. Scarcity teaches you that a no to noise is a yes to signal, and your future runs on signals. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." Scarcity is how you start using it. You will feel lighter the first week you stop being everywhere. Your phone will go quiet. Your mind will unclench. Food will taste better. The gym will ask for more weight. Your bank account will recognize fewer dumb charges. Your mirror will respect you for being the kind of man who respects his own hours. And here's the twist. Those who once floated in and out will feel air they didn't know you were supplying. The room gets colder without your warmth. That chill has a name, consequence. You didn't deliver it. Time did. You simply stopped insulating them from it. So here's the move. Simple, deep, daily. Choose fewer wants from people and higher standards for yourself. Replace the reflex to reply with the reflex to refine. Refine your schedule, your practice, your environment. Be where your future needs you. Be scarce where your past drained you. Let the new pattern teach on your behalf. You are still kind, still humble, still strong, and now wisely rare. Number 4. The mirror of consequences. Absence shows the truth. Reality is the judge that never needs your testimony. That's the hard opener, my friends. And here's the play. When you step back, you hand them the only mirror that can't be argued with. Results. Not your paragraphs, not your late-night proof. Results. Picture this. You were the translator, the cushion, the soft landing. Every time they tripped, you turned the floor into a mattress. Then one day, you quietly roll the mattress away. No speech, no scene, just floor. They don't meet your anger, they meet the ground. That thud isn't your revenge, it's the lesson life tried to give while you kept interrupting with grace. Folks, imagine your absence like turning off studio lighting. Under bright lights, everything can be staged, angles, filters, retakes. Switch the lights off, pull the blinds, and only the shape remains. Absence is that darkness where shape tells the truth. Without your prompts, without your reminders, without your habit of fixing the same problem for the 30th time, the outline of their choices appears. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca said, and for a long time your imagination kept dressing their behavior in excuses. Absence strips the costume. Reality walks out in plain clothes. You'll hear your mind whisper 1,000 questions. What if they think I'm cruel? What if they say I abandoned them? What if the story makes me the villain? Breathe. Marcus reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. You don't control their narrative, and thank God you don't have to anymore. You control whether you keep sponsoring a version of them that doesn't exist without your subsidy. Absence is an audit. It separates what stands on its own from what only stood because you held it up. Let's break the lies. Lie 1. Explaining is love. No, explaining is a tool. Love without accountability is enablement dressed in perfume. Lie 2. If I don't correct them, they'll never see it. They never saw it while you were correcting them because your correction became the scapegoat. With you gone, the scapegoat resigns and the mirror clocks in. Lie 3. Absence is petty. Petty is a performance. Absence is permission for cause and effect to finally finish the conversation you kept restarting. Here's a metaphor that hits. Think of a courtroom where you used to rush the stand every time the defendant's story got shaky. You argued, diagrammed, dramatized, begged the jury to wake up. Absence is you stepping out of the courtroom and letting evidence pile up without you. The late replies, the mixed signals, the broken promises, every piece goes on the table, and Judge Time doesn't shout. Time just tallies. Your new routines testify louder than anything you could say. 8 hours of sleep, a quiet house, a heavier lift, a growing account, a phone that is silent unless it matters. The record reflects a life that works without them. That's not a speech, that's a sentence. Dark psychology gives us the engine. Projection collapses when the audience leaves. As long as you were present, they could project. You're too sensitive, you pushed me, you misunderstood. In your absence, the projector has no screen. The room goes still. The same behavior that used to bounce off your patience now echoes against their conscience. They hear the words they once threw in your direction come back with their name on them. You didn't force it. You simply stopped absorbing it, a lighter image for your soul. Absence is like putting your phone on the table face down at dinner with your future. You're still reachable by reality, business, health, purpose, but you're not reachable by circus. When the circus calls and no clown picks up, the tent empties. It takes a minute, sure. There's an extinction burst, a final act, a last juggling routine. Then, quiet. In the quiet, you taste your food again. You laugh at something that isn't sarcastic. You remember your original voice, not the defensive one you grew to survive arguments. Why is this so hard? Because caretakers confuse presence with purpose. You thought your purpose was to be available. Your real purpose is to be aligned. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Who would you be without the caretaking costume? Stronger, calmer, better dressed in your own life. The fear is real. When you stop being the cushion, they might fall and blame you. Let them. You are not gravity. You are not the ground. You are a man who finally retired from a job you were never paid to do. Watch what time does with the mirror. At first, they fill the space with noise, stories, selfies, substitutes. Then, the quiet parts of the day show up. Mornings without your messages, evenings without your steady voice, decisions without your counsel. The mirror gets heavier. Comparison strolls in like a bailiff and escorts them from nostalgia to evidence. The brunch crowd thins. The loud friends get busy. The late-night feed doesn't feed. The mirror has no filter and no sympathy. It only shows. That's the point. Your words tried to show. Your absence succeeds. You might get an invitation back. One talk. For closure. My friends, closure is usually the final episode of a season that should have ended 6 episodes ago. If you go as the man you became, measured, brief, and uninterested in re-litigating the past. No monologues, no forensic voice. If they seek accountability, the mirror already trained them to bring it. If they don't, the mirror will keep working. You don't wrestle with reflections. Here's a laugh to keep it human. Once you stop fixing their mess, you'll have time to fix that squeaky cabinet you ignored for 2 years. You'll oil the hinge, close the door, and smile at the silence. That feeling, quiet competence, is the signature scent of a good life. No audience, no applause, just things working. That's what absence buys you, the ability to maintain your own house instead of living as maintenance staff in someone else's. So we close this chapter with a promise and a posture. Promise. The mirror of consequences never forgets to teach. Posture. You don't need to point. You only need to proceed. Proceed with your training. Proceed with your work. Proceed with your rest. Proceed with your standards. Those who were confused will finally have the only tutor that never lies. Outcomes. Those who were careless will finally meet the only boundary that never argues. Distance. Those who were meant for you will recognize the mirror, own what it shows, and arrive with respect. The rest will fade like a song you're done singing. Number 5. Comparison is the executioner. They learn when life puts you beside what they chose. Truth doesn't shout, it stands next to the lie and lets eyes adjust. That's the hard opener, my friends. Comparison is the quiet executioner. Not your anger, not your thread of receipts. Comparison. You don't swing the sword, life does, by placing your steadiness next to the chaos they picked, your loyalty next to the games they entertain, your growth next to the stalling they disguise as freedom. Picture a gallery room. 2 paintings hang side by side. One is layered, patient, brush stroke after brush stroke, colors cured over time. The other is spray paint on wet plaster, flashy under bright lights, already dripping at the edges. No curator speaks, no sign lectures. People look, they feel, they know. That's comparison doing the teaching without you saying a word. They won't feel it immediately. At first, novelty is loud, new attention is shiny, new faces clap at the same old tricks, but the novelty has a short battery, and when it dies, the room gets quiet. That's when contrast walks in with a clipboard. Where is the reliability you gave? Where is the unfakeable calm you lived? Where is the 3 a.m. steadiness? The mirror of consequences showed the outline. Comparison inks the details. Marcus Aurelius told us, If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. They may have said the new was better, but time has a way of cross-examining adjectives. When the bills arrive, emotional, financial, spiritual, better gets measured, not imagined. Dark psychology names the engine the contrast effect. The mind does not judge in isolation, it judges against the last thing it held. After you, every late reply is later, every half-truth feels hollower, every small act of disrespect lands heavier. They used to call you too much. Now the chaos calls you too rare. You won't hear it, you're busy. But comparison will whisper it into their pillow when the room is quiet and the phone is dark. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca said, and comparison weaponizes imagination against the story they tried to believe. Reality holds up two lives like a before and after photo and asks no questions. The eyes do the math. You'll hear your own fear try to drag you back. What if comparison favors them? What if I'm the one who looks small? What if I'm the problem? Breathe. This is why you build. Comparison favors what composes itself over time. It favors training over talking, routine over rage, craftsmanship over clout. Your job is not to hope they compare well. Your job is to become incomparable to who you used to be. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, Epictetus said. That's the antidote to fear. Standards, scheduled. Let's break the lies that keep men stuck. Lie 1. If I don't stick around to prove my worth, they'll forget it. No, memory grows when access ends. Presence anesthetizes, absence sensitizes. Lie 2. If I win big, they'll think I'm showing off. Your progress is not a performance, it's a permission slip for your future. Those who keep score are stuck in a game you no longer play. Lie 3. If I move on, I erase what we were. Moving on doesn't erase the past, it gives it context. Comparison gives you the language you never had, not bitterness, better choices. Imagine a restaurant review written by time. 2 meals, yours. Discipline, kindness, structure, theirs. Excitement, inconsistency, ego calories. The reviewer shows up unannounced on a Monday at 7 a.m., on a Thursday at 10 p.m., on a rainy Sunday when nobody feels like trying. Your place opens on time, the coffee is hot, the staff are steady, the menu is honest. The other place posts another story about big things coming. Comparison writes the stars without your help. That's why you don't chase critics. You open your doors and do consistent work. You might be tempted to narrate this process. Don't. Silence stays your ally. The moment you try to frame the contrast, you look invested in their validation again. Let the world do the math. The world is good at math. Your friends won't need convincing. They'll see your shoulders drop and your eyes clear. Their friends won't need persuading either. They'll see the pattern. How many times can someone be late to their own life? You didn't subtract anything from them. You added everything to you. Time handles the ledger. Why will they feel it more as you grow? Because growth is a lighthouse, and lighthouses expose the distance between coastline and drift. You won't send flares. You don't need to. You'll be on your run while they hit snooze. You'll be on your call while they rehearse the same complaints. You'll be stacking days while they stack justifications. One day the math clicks. The man they dismissed used the dismissal as fuel. The place they left became a home. The routine they mocked became a crown. Comparison takes the blade and taps each shoulder. Consequence, consequence. Here's a lighter image to keep you human. Think of your life as a playlist. You used to let low-quality tracks play on repeat because you didn't know how to hit skip. Now you curate. You bring in songs that build momentum, lyrics that match your mission. When someone asks why you don't play the old track anymore, you smile. That beat didn't age well. That humor is freedom. It means the sting is gone and the lesson stayed. It means you didn't need the DJ booth. You needed the next button and a better album. They will try to test the contrast, a check-in message, a breadcrumb, a memory bomb. Miss this? You'll feel the tug. Touch the data, not the drama. How did you sleep last month? How did you train? How many pages did you read? Deals you moved? Laughs you had? Compare that to the months you spent arguing. The numbers don't lie. Numbers are stoic. They don't care about nostalgia. So here's the move you make today. You become the easiest person in your life to compare in your favor. Not against them, against yesterday's you. Fewer distractions, cleaner room, stronger lifts, calmer tone, better books, dependable schedule. You build a baseline so solid that even on a bad day you outperform your old good days. That baseline turns comparison into a landslide. Inside you first, then outside. Those meant for you won't need a speech. They'll feel the climate of a man who keeps promises to himself. We end this with clarity and a spark. Clarity. You are not waiting for their regret. You are building a life that doesn't depend on it. Spark. The surest way to let comparison execute cleanly is to live so well that even your mistakes are honest and your corrections are quick. Time loves a man who corrects fast. Type this in the comments to anchor it and show yourself. Show the world, show the algorithm you're done proving and busy improving. I raise the standard. Number 6, the what-if spiral. They're haunted by questions you don't answer. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca lays it bare, my friends. This is the engine of the what-if spiral. Not your words, not your warnings. Their imagination set loose in the empty space you no longer fill. When you stop explaining, stop correcting, stop offering gentle exits from hard truths, something powerful begins. Their brain goes looking for answers it can't find. And that's where regret grows teeth. Picture a dark theater after closing. The projector is off, the seats are empty, the screen is blank. Then a door creaks, and the mind starts playing private films. What if they were the one? What if I push too far? What if I don't get this chance again? The human nervous system craves closure the way a thirsty man craves water. But closure isn't earned by extracting another paragraph from you. It's earned when reality refuses to feed denial. Your silence is not cruelty, it's the end of the concession stand. No more snacks for stories, no more refills for excuses. They will try every lever. A quick check-in, a meme in your DMs, a memory grenade. Remember that night? Not because they want reconciliation, because they want relief from the loop. The loop is the tax time charges when explanations are over. Dark psychology calls it the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished business sticks. And no matter how strong they seem, the unclosed tabs in their mind start draining battery. You used to plug them in with attention. Now they have to find a wall outlet called accountability. Your fear will try to rent a room. What if I'm being heartless? What if they're actually changing? What if my silence is childish? Breathe. Marcus Aurelius again. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Your silence is governance, not games. You're not withholding to punish, you're declining to participate. There's a difference. Punishment needs an audience. Boundaries need only a schedule. And your schedule is full of what actually compounds: training, sleep, work, laughter, God, family, craft. Here's a metaphor to lock it in. Think of mountain weather. In the valley, storms can sound dramatic. Thunder, flash, the performance of rain. At the summit, you watch it pass beneath you. Same storm, different altitude. That's what your silence does. It moves you to an altitude where their weather doesn't decide your day. You can see it, you can name it, but you don't hike back down to argue with thunder. Let the clouds talk to themselves. Break the lies clean and quick. Lie 1. If I give them one last talk, they'll finally understand. No, one last talk is often one more escape ramp from facing themselves. Lie 2. If I don't respond, I'm leaving them in pain. Your responding didn't remove pain, it delayed the truth. Lie 3. If I move on visibly, it's petty. Petty is performance. Progress is permission. You're giving your future permission to arrive. They will ask questions into the silence, and the silence will echo them back with interest. Why didn't they fight for me? Why didn't they reply? Why didn't they chase? Then the sharper questions come. Why did I think they always would? Why did I spend their kindness like it had no limit? Why did I believe availability equals forever? This is the corridor where regret meets humility. No speech from you could walk them here. Only time and empty rooms can. You step aside. You let the corridor do what it does. A lighter picture, because power doesn't have to be grim. Imagine your phone on airplane mode at 30,000 feet. The messages stack below like little birds perched on a wire. They are real. They can wait. Meanwhile, the sun hits your window. The clouds look like a sea of clean linen, and you order water, not drama. When you land, after your workout, after your meeting, after your reading, you check what deserves oxygen. Most of it doesn't. What-ifs try to board your flight without a ticket. Your new policy is simple: manifest or miss the plane. Why is this so difficult? Because you were taught that love equals explanation. You learned to be the teacher in someone else's classroom, grading papers they refused to write. Epictetus offers the exit. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You would be a man of quiet decisions. You would be a man whose life tells the truth without subtitles. You would be a man who can smile, say no, and not compose an essay about the philosophy of boundaries. Then do what you have to do. Live that sentence until your days line up like soldiers, disciplined, dependable, yours. The what-if spiral has a predictable arc. At first they distract, new faces, louder rooms, faster nights. Then novelty's battery dies and mornings get sober. The contrast from the last section kicks in, your steadiness versus their restless treadmill. What if I misjudged them? What if I mislabeled love as boredom? What if their silence means they're finally done saving me from myself? These are not your questions to answer. These are their exams to take, and time is a teacher with perfect attendance. You will feel tempted to send a hint, a line, a picture of your progress. Don't. Progress posted to provoke is still a performance for an audience you claim to have left. Let your life speak in rooms you're actually in, your gym, your business, your friendships. The algorithm you want now isn't social, it's spiritual and practical. Do the reps, make the calls, drink the water, sleep on time, stack the pages, quietly become the man they can't reach. Not because you blocked them, but because you built a life where their opinion can't climb. Here's the sweetest part of the what-if spiral, and it belongs to you. You stop living inside your own. Your what-ifs shrink. What if I had said X? What if I'd stayed longer? What if I'd fought harder? Those fade as data replaces drama. You're sleeping better. You're lifting heavier. You're laughing more. You're present with people who earned your presence. People who keep their word become your world. The view gets clean. So we close this chapter with calm authority. You don't weaponize silence. You worship peace. You don't hope for their regret. You honor your routine. Their what-ifs are between them and the mirror. Your what next is between you and your mission. If they one day arrive with clarity, accountability, and changed behavior, you'll recognize it by how it moves, not how it begs. Until then, let time finish the sentences you will never again start.